Cool. Good day. Today I'm gonna be discussing HTMX chapter 1, and Lindo's gonna be navigating my session today. So yeah, basically HTMX is a tool that lets you make web pages without writing JavaScript. So instead you use simple HTML attributes to send requests to the server and update parts of the page, right? So basically it makes fetching data and updating content much easier, and you do that by writing your HTMX syntax within your HTML, basically. So over here we have this web page that we made, right? And it has this content here, and basically the goal of this is to basically make a request and fetch a certain amount of users and display them here in the front end, right? So when you click this button here, this pops up, this dialog box, asking us if we want to proceed with fetching users. And when you click, basically it loads and it displays all the users over here. That's because a get request was made using the HTMX syntax within our HTML. So yeah, it's just about making get requests in order to have all these users over here. So let's jump in the code. So basically here we have our server.js, and this is where the server is being made. So we've imported Express, which is a framework. Then we initialize the Express application. Then using the use function here, we're basically telling Express, right, to use the public directory. You know that the public directory has the index.html, so it has this HTML which contains all that data that we wanna display in the front end. Then we pass the URL encoded bodies here, then pass the JSON bodies. Then in this function we basically handle the get request, right, to fetch those users that we display in the front end. So basically fetching the users from this URL link users, and we set the limit of users that we fetch to 10. And yeah, this is just basically handling the get request. Then using app.listen, we basically start the server, and we're starting the server on port 3000. Then console.log just displays that the server is listening on port 3000 here in the console. Then over here we basically in the script put this line of code, dev nodemin server.js. Basically this like we're running the server using nodemin over here. So that's how we basically run the server. Then in our HTML template, this is basically where we use our HTMX syntaxes. So firstly we have this here, header, hello world, then welcome to my website, then simple request example, and that shows over here in the front end. Then we have this button tag in order to make a button, right, that we click for making the request. Then within the button tag we have all these HTMX syntaxes. So firstly over here, hx get equals users. This basically like makes a get request, right, to this URL link users, and we know that we find that here basically in our server.js. So we're basically making a get request to this, and then hx trigger equals click basically triggers this request, this get request. How that is triggered is by clicking the button in the front end over here. So when that is done, we use hx.swap outer HTML. This basically sort of loads the data that was retrieved from users onto here in this ID users basically. And then hx target basically is specifying where to insert all that data, which is the users we retrieved. So we're inserting it in the ID users, which is basically over here. Then we have hx confirm, right? This basically like displays a dialog message, right? So when you click the button to make the request, this dialog message is displayed here, and it's asking, do you want to proceed with fetching the users, right? So it's just simply for confirmation. So that is done using hx confirm with the string passed to it. Then we have hx vals over here, right? This basically sets like the limit of users that we fetch from this user's URL. It sets it to 10, and when you look in the front end, right, it shows basically it shows like a limit of 10 users being displayed there. Then we have hx indicator loading. This basically like it shows that whole loading process basically. So when you click the button, it shows this loading process. This just like indicates that the get request is still being processed and waiting for the users to be retrieved basically. And yeah, that's hence why we have this ID loading and then spinner border. So it just shows that spinner border when we're waiting for the request to be made basically. So over here, this in this ID, this is where like HTMX basically inserts the user data, so that all those users that were retrieved using the get request is basically placed within this ID here, and that's done using hx swap and hx target. So that's the HTML basically, and the HTMX tags, sorry, the HTMX code that we used to make the get request and retrieve that data basically. Then just used Bootstrap to basically add styling to the web page, and also some CSS as well. So yeah, Lindo, is there anything on add?
No, there's nothing.
All right, cool. So yeah,
I
that's
want to ask something though.
yeah.
I remember earlier on when he sent the code for the button, right? So I wanted to know, is this like the button class there on the button, the btn low on over? Is it a class? Is it a bootstrap class, or did she write her own code, her own CSS code for that?
For this, right?
Yeah, did you write your own code or it's a bootstrap thing?
I believe it's a bootstrap thing because within, okay, we've also, because we've imported bootstrap over here. So I believe it's a bootstrap thing. I don't know if it's CSS because,
Okay,
right,
so you didn't
all
do
the
any edits.
yeah, all the CSS is made here, but this is just for the styling. Um, but I
Okay,
think
so I
this is for
guess
bootstrap.
yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
But I think, yeah, I'll look into that more tonight.
I did try that
Yeah.
the class BTN, but then my button was just not working, and I just cancelled everything, and I just like did my own styling and continued with the button that we had originally. So didn't
Oh,
confuse myself with just styling. But then
What
if
happens if I
my
remove?
button is
Yeah.
just blank.
Oh, really?
What happened? Yeah, it was just blank,
Oh.
and it was not. Yeah, so I just like, okay, I don't know what's going on. I just cancelled it. So I don't know what's going on.
When you
But
say
then
it
I
was
tried
just blank, you mean?
calculator.
Do you mean like
You see
it
yours
wasn't?
like
Yeah. So it
you
wasn't
see your
showing.
button is blank. Mine was just blank. I
Mm.
could see that it's a button, but then it's just blank.
Yeah. That is odd.
That was happening here. I
But
just
what happens if I remove this thing? Like,
your button is just gonna be an ugly button with
yeah.
nothing.
I check.
Default button type.
Oh, yeah. So it's just gonna show you. Alright. So yours is just blank. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but then I just worked with the original button that we had and the CSS CSS was this BTN primary for the blue color.
Mm. So for
I don't know what was not working here.
I don't know, and I still don't know if it's from Bootstrap or CSS, but you do have this line of code, ne?
No,
You
no. The
don't.
reason I think it's not from CSS is because your CSS does not include a class BTN flow
Yeah.
and over, so it does not include that on your
Yeah.
CSS code, meaning it's not hard coded.
So it should be from Bootstrap then. Alright.
Yeah, even the class BTN, it's the button class from Bootstrap, so probably.
Oh, okay, I see. Alright.
Okay. But I wonder why mine is not working. I'll try that later.
Yeah.
Um, it's BTN flow and over. Please, can you copy that and just
Okay, I will.
send the name of the class on the chat? Yeah.